Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Third Inning Podcast. I'm your host, Izzy Rain, and we haven't been on here for a while just because stuff happens. Other sports, NASCAR happened. So, as we do, we start with the scores happening in baseball. Now, we won't be doing minor league because it is the postseason for minor league right now. And I know in some leagues there's still games going on, some there's already champions and all of that. So we're not going to do that because it's way too confusing because I don't know what leagues are doing what. But okay, so we are just doing MLB. So our MLB.TV free game of the day. So y'all can check this out. It's at 7:10 p.m. East Coast time, and it is the Dodgers taking on the Mets with Ryu and DeGrom. So, awesome pitching lineup. Last night was Kershaw and Syndergaard, with Kershaw getting the dub. So, I didn't watch, but it's still pretty cool. So, I may have to check out that Dodgers and Mets game. So, right now in the top of the sixth at Wrigley, we had the Cubs leading the Pirates 10-1. And in the bottom of the fourth in Toronto, we had the Yankees are leading the Blue Jays 3-0. The Braves are currently losing to the Nats the Nats at 1, the Braves at 0 in the top of the second in DC. So games that are bound to happen today are Twins and Indians at 7:10. Orioles, and this is all East Coast time. Orioles and Tigers at 6:10 in Detroit. The Red Sox and Phillies at Citizens Bank Park in Philly at 7:05. Brewers and Cardinals with, actually the pitcher, I have mutuals with him, but Louds and Flaherty on the Cardinals, my bad. But that's at 7:15 in St. Louis. We have the Astros and Royals at 7:15. The Athletics and the Rangers at 8:05. The Reds and Diamondbacks at 8:10. Padres and Rockies at 8:10, Marlins and Giants at 9:05, and Bumgarner's pitching. We have Rays and Angels at 9:07, kind of a weird time to start. We have White Sox and Mariners at 9:10 with Hernandez pitching for the Mariners. So then the one game that has already ended today, so it looks like the Twins and Indians are having a doubleheader. The Twins won 2-0, and I guess it's in Cleveland. I remember seeing that. So those are our scores. Now I forgot to go pick up the baseball cards from inside the kitchen, so we're not going to have a baseball card section today, but we will have one in 2 weeks' time when our next episode comes out. But obviously this isn't the end of the podcast, so we're going to talk about what I think is the major story in MLB this week, and probably one of the top ones in sports this week maybe, but we did have all this football come back. I'm not a football fan, but that probably is taken. Antonio Brown, I don't want to talk about him on here because I do not like him. But okay, so I feel like our main thing happened in the 10 o'clock hour, or that's when it got announced what happened on September 10th on Tuesday, and I'm just going to read what the MLB put out. It says, breaking, Yelich out for the year, so the rest of the season, postseason, and everything. Reigning NL National League MVP Christian Yelich is out for the season with a fractured right kneecap suffered tonight, Tuesday, after he fouled off a pitch, and this was at his old home stadium of Marlins Park in Miami. So that sucks that Yelich is out for the Brewers, and yeah, it happens. So will he still be MVP? Because a lot of people thought it was between really him and Yelich. It was between Bellinger and Yelich. Really, there may be an underdog who comes out. So I'm going to say it's not going to be Yelich anymore since he is out for the rest of the season. People will forget about him, which obviously we shouldn't forget about such talent. But will Bellinger come out on top? Will we have somebody else come out from underneath? I have no idea who is going to be MVP. Because, I mean, it was between those two, really. So I'm just going to say Bellinger at the moment. Who knows what may happen. So in the AL, I think we all know who people talk about being the MVP, and that's Mike Trout. I don't know, because, again, I don't really keep up with the AL as much as I keep up with the NL, but, I mean, Mike Trout seems like a good person to say. I don't even remember who was the MVP last year for the AL. We're going to look that up right now. Google Chrome. I never use Google Chrome on this computer, so it's taking forever to load. So let's just do Internet Explorer. See, Google Chrome doesn't load, so yeah, I'm using... Oh, there it goes. Okay, here we go. Who was the American League MVP in 2018? It was Mookie Betts. So I'm going to say Mookie Betts is absolutely not going to be the MVP for 2019 just because the Red Sox have been doing not so great. I think they fired their general manager or something this week. I know I'm not supposed to say I think on here. I got in trouble for that, but that doesn't matter because I really don't care. I can say what I want. It's my podcast. So I am going to go into the MLB standings for you guys. Actually, something came out earlier this week comparing the standings now to what was the projected ones, I guess. But okay, so we're going to start with the American League. So in the Central Division, and all this is subject to change, obviously, because as we saw, games are going on right now. There's games scheduled for later in the day. There's probably some teams that don't even have games today. So let's just get into it. So the Central Division, number 5 are the Tigers with they're I think the first team to hit 100 losses. So they have 43 wins and 103 losses. Really bad. Okay, we have Royals, who are in the number 4 spot with 55 and 93. The Chicago White Sox at 65 and 82. The Indians at 86 and 61. And the Minnesota Twins at 89 and 57. So they got one of those dubs today. Good for them, I guess. I don't really care about the AL. So, moving on to the Eastern Division, we have the Orioles at number 5. They're about to hit 100 L's, so they have 48 and 99. The Blue Jays are number 4 with 58 and 90. Number 3 are your Boston Red Sox at 77 and 70. So I don't know what happened to them from winning the World Series to not doing so great. I don't know what happened. So if you have theories, tell me down below in the comments because I would love to read them. So our number 2 spots, the Tampa Bay Rays with 88 and 61. And the number 1 are the New York Yankees with 97 wins and 52 losses. So, going to our Western Division in the AL, we have the Astros are 96 and 53. Sorry, something came up on the computer. I know, it always tells me it can't connect to iCloud, and I'm like, shut up, I don't care. So in the Western Division, did I read the number 1 team first? I might have. My mind just got cut off. But okay. So number 5, we have the Mariners, who are 60 and 88. The Angels are number 4 at 67 and 81. So people hype up the Angels so much. But yeah, they're out of playoff contention if you did not know. The Angels suck. But yeah, I get they have Mike Trout. They have Shohei Ohtani. They have Pujols. But they suck, and I think they are probably the most overhyped team in baseball. That's all I have to say. But okay. So Texas Rangers are 74-75, so pretty even. The Athletics, Oakland, are number 2 at 88 and 60. And the Astros are at number 1 with 96 and 53. So that's really who the Yankees have to look out for. So going to the National League, we will start with the Central Division, where I think in the Central Division it's pretty up in the air of who it could go to. Definitely who's number 1 is not who I would have thought would be number 1. But we are going to start with number 5, and that's Pittsburgh Pirates at 65 and 83. Number 4 is the Cincinnati Reds at 69 and 79. Number 3 are the Milwaukee Brewers, 78 and 69. 2 are the Chicago Cubs at 79 and 68. They look like they're about to get to 80. And then the Cardinals are 83 and 64. So going to the Eastern Division now, we have the Marlins at the bottom. We could expect that, can't we? So they're in 5th at 51 and 96. And 4th, we had the Mets at 76 to 71. Hopefully that will turn to a 72 tonight. So 3, we had the Philadelphia Phillies with 76 and 70. At 2, the Washington Nationals at 81 to 65. And it looks like they may be going up to 82. And then we had the Braves, who are on top with 92 and 57. Now going to the West, there's only one team who is really doing anything in the West. Yeah. So our bottom at number 5 are the Colorado Rockies at 63 and 85. Number 4 is who I would think would be at the bottom, and in my mind, they're always at the bottom, and that's the San Diego Padres at 68 and 79. So our number 3 spot are the San Francisco Giants at 71 to 77. If you want to see Bumgarner pitch, he is pitching tonight, so check into that game if you want. Then we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 75 and 73, so again, pretty even. And then at number 1 is the Los Angeles Dodgers with 96 and 53. So there we go with our standings. So moving on, as I talked about earlier of why we didn't have a podcast 2 weeks ago, because in this half of the season we are doing every other week, just because not that much is happening in these days where we're just waiting for the playoffs to start, which I will be making my bracket soon. I don't know when, but it'll be soon for the playoffs. I already have who I think is going to be at the, not the Super Bowl, the World Series. I already know who I think. I know who I think is going to win the Super Bowl too, but this is not a football podcast. So back to what I was talking about. So I did not post a podcast I didn't post on September 1st or August 31st because I was at a NASCAR race. If you follow me, you all saw it there. If you are a subscriber on this channel, you saw the Funko hunt from that because there are NASCAR Funko Pops. So that's where I was. And that's not really, I'm not making excuses of why I wasn't here because we are actually going to be talking about baseball with this. So, as you all know, it is the dog days of summer, and I'm in the south, so it rains and thunderstorms a good bit in the afternoons, and this race was a night race because it's Labor Day weekend, so it was a holiday weekend, so it was a night race. So, there was a thunderstorm, and they were dead set on getting this race in because we had Hurricane Dorian coming up the coast, so the highways have to reverse for people evacuating. I don't evacuate hurricanes. Like, if a Category 5 hurricane was coming here, I want to evacuate, which is really bad. Don't do that. But my family and I, we just don't evacuate. So, they had to reverse the highways, so all the highway patrol and security and all that was needed at the race would be needed tomorrow for the Monday for the people evacuating from Dorian. So this race, they were dead set on getting it in. It didn't start till like 10 p.m. at night, and I didn't get home till like 3 a.m. and that's kind of crazy because I'm a homebody. I'm always home late at night. I'm always up, but I'm always home. But it was a really good time. So between the race, because there was all that rain, so I was just like, I'm going to go home and eat. No, you're like, can you get back into the track if you leave and come back? So you actually can, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So you can, if you walk out, they give you a little pass, and it's a re-entry pass. So you have, and when you come back, you have to show that pass and then show your ticket stub, and that's how you get back in. Now, I'm curious. To my knowledge, no other sports do this other than NASCAR. Now different teams may do that, but out of the NFL games I've been to, MLB, NBA, I've never seen that. So I want to know if y'all think that MLB could do that. Because I know sometimes if it's just really hot or something, I never leave baseball games, but I'm just using baseball as an example because this is a baseball podcast. You may want to leave. I can see maybe families with little kids. We know how I feel about people bringing babies to games, but people do it. It doesn't matter. Like, they don't care about my opinion. They're going to bring their babies to games. That maybe the parents could leave and drop the kid off with the grandparents or something and then come back to the game. Because, I mean, what if you go to batting practice and then there's still like an hour before the game starts, so you leave and come back, and like the rain delays, you could leave during the rain delay and come back. I think that's the main thing, is weather delays, that it would be very nice. But yeah, if it wasn't for that hurricane, I do think they would have just changed the race to Monday because, I mean, again, it's a holiday, so there wouldn't be really a problem about attendance, and it was still a sold out race, so, you know. So, do y'all think they should bring this into MLB? That is my question for you guys. I'm going to leave you with this week. Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And that was the Third Inning Podcast. I hope to see you guys on the 29th. I hope to see you guys on the 29th, which I am going to be at another NASCAR race, so you may see me on the 30th. I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!